Okay, so first we'll start with some static moves. And the static moves would be like a headstand, handstand, forearm stand, shoulder stand, combinations in between those. And the main thing to know is that you are stacking body weights. And you may have noticed this from your students, or one of your trainers said this in a training, but there are forward folders and there were backward benders. So there are some people who are going to have an easier time hiking up into a deadlift because they are forward folders. And then your backward benders might have an easier time in, say, in a forearm stand where that type of flexibility is helpful. So be aware of that. There are some moves that'll be easier for you than others, and that's okay. You don't have to master everything. So for a headstand, we were going to kind of take this out. We weren't quite sure what to do, but there's been more of the idea that at this level, you can probably keep your body strong enough to not collapse in a headstand. All right, so from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my head on the ground. Hopefully my head is going to be seen. And my hands are out in a triangle. So I'm making a tripod. I'm going to lift my butt up. Now I am a forward folder, so that means I can fold my body pretty easily. I'm going to pike it up. I'm going to hang out. Now from here, now I can already feel that I'm working out, mainly because I'm out of shape. And then we can go around with the legs. We can tick-tock side to side. Tahara, a master trainer that moved to New York, has a lot of really great leg movements that she does in a headstand. So that's the headstand. Now if you're not going to press up into one, you could take your legs up and slowly lift. However, most of the time, because our torso and our head are shorter than our legs, you can get your butt high enough to get over your rib cage. All right, so forearm stand. Now forearm stand, start practicing these at the park. So you can stick your fingers into the grass and you can see how you would move your body in order to balance, okay? So these are not ones that, since I'm a forward folder, not a back bender, these did not come natural to me. I think I got better at them last year or the year before. But I'm going to have my hands right out from my elbows right down from my shoulders. Now if your shoulders are not very flexible or your students aren't, what might happen is their elbows will flare out. Now if our elbows flare out, our heads are more likely to go to the ground, and then also it's really not a healthy position for the shoulders to be in. So we want to make sure that we have some good flexibility there. Maybe some of the things we can do to get more comfortable with that is more of that prayer shoulder stretch. So we have the elbows up. I'm going to bring them forward. Now I can either hold a block in between my hands or I can press the hands apart, and I'm going to bring my chest down. And I'm really working keeping the elbows in, okay? So forearm stand. You put those hands down. Let me think, I'm going to scoot away a little bit just so I don't hit the wall. I'm going to look forward. Ooh, I might hit the wall. All right, so here's the thing. If your shoulders aren't very flexible, that's going to hurt you. So one of the things that I had learned to do once upon a time was to roll out of a forearm stand because I was afraid of going over. So and it looks like this. I'll show you what it looks like to roll. But you gotta kind of know you're gonna roll. So if I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna roll, I'm gonna tuck my head and roll. So that's possible. The point is not to roll over. So you could put your body closer to the wall and have your foot on the wall and kind of practice the balance that way, but don't be too close to where you can't practice your balance. And then we'll come down. For me, the biggest trick is really to look up so that my butt doesn't go over. If I look up, it makes it so the butt doesn't go over. If I'm looking down at the ground, my butt is way more likely to go over. So that's forearm stand. Shoulder stand, I love shoulder stands. Those were actually ones I did as a kid in gymnastics, so they're relatively comfortable. But I think of these as more of a fish flop type they're in the fish flop, and you may have learned this as part of level 2 or level 3 training when we spot a fish flop. So your face is on the ground side of the face. My palm is down to the back arm. My palm is down. My front hand is pushing down, and I'm on, which this is kind of a good tip, the front of your shoulder. Don't round your shoulder and be on the back. You're more likely to roll over. So you're going to think front of the shoulder, a little bit of chest if possible. So we're up. This feels like I haven't done this for a long time. So there's my shoulder stand. So if I was going to come out into kind of that roll down from a fish flop, it pretty much goes that way. Okay? All right. And then combinations of hand positions. So before I get up to a handstand, I can put one forearm down, one hand down, different things like that. So let's say I'm going to do this. This might not work out well for me. This really might not work out, so don't expect much here. Oh, yeah. All right, so there you go. Better than I thought it would be. Now against the wall, you'll have some people who will tuck their butt more. In the previous trainings, we taught handstands to where your face is forward, your arms are back, so we have a very flat position. Rib cage is pulled in. If we're going to balance it, we're going to look down towards the ground. And because my butt will tuck pretty easily, I'm going to lean my shoulders forward to where the shoulders are right over the middle of the hand. Okay? This is just something I'm still working on. So I just shifted forward. I'm going to really push out from my arms. Push those fingers into the mat and adjust. So that's a regular old handstand. And it's helpful sometimes if you take a video of yourself and see where your body weights are, your pelvis, chest, head. We were doing a handstand the other day and I didn't realize that I would kind of arch back if my shoulders are not forward. So use it as feedback when you watch yourself. Then we have our contortion handstands. Further out away from the wall, pushing up out of the shoulders, looking forward. And I'm not confident enough in that to even think I'm going to hold it, so we'll come down. So those are the hands on the ground static moves.